Hello and welcome to English Classes TV Shows Explained.
Hello.
So today we're going to be looking at David Mitchell's Soapbox, and it's the episode Brits Attitude to Food, and this is the vocabulary section. Okay, so the first word or phrase we're going to look at is Michelin star. What's a Michelin star? Or Michelin.
We have Michelin-starred restaurants.
If you want to go very French.
Michelin.
Michelin.
Michelin?
Okay, I don't speak French.
Me neither. Okay, so it's a way to distinguish good restaurants. Distinguish good restaurants, like excellent restaurants. And they give those stars, there is like a committee of chefs. And they
pronounce chefs.
Chefs. Yeah, and they decide and they choose restaurants. They are very expensive, fancy, and whatever you want. And so are probably the best restaurants in the world if you like this kind of food.
Michelin star restaurants are very expensive, very fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put these two together because this is a bit of a cultural reference. Jamie Oliver and Rotherham.
Oliver is very popular because of his program, TV program that is everywhere in every country, and his books, and he's very funny because he does everything like with hands, and he's not like sophisticated. It's like cheap food and with...
No, I wouldn't say it's cheap food, though.
But it's like with simple products. It's not like very fancy cuisine with, I don't know, like extravagant things. It's quite easy to do, and I think it's why he has a lot of followers. Also, he has a couple of restaurants, and I know that he's doing a lot of charity and things.
He does a lot of charity.
He does a lot of charity and things like this.
Yeah, he came through, and he was a lot younger than the traditional sort of middle-aged chef, and he was always moving about and always very energetic, and he was riding. I remember when we first saw him, he was on his scooter, riding about on his scooter. And he did a TV program where he was trying to improve school dinners, trying to improve the meals that children ate at school. So he had this campaign to stop them eating processed food. And there was a famous instance in Rotherham, which is a town in the north of England, where the children had been given healthy food, but the children's mothers were not very pleased about this, and they were seen pushing unhealthy food through the bars to their children, like animals in a zoo. So he was making a reference to that. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about is bollocks.
Well, bollocks we have.
What is our bollocks?
I think that mainly are.
Well, you can say that is total bollocks. So the first meaning, bollocks are?
These are testicles.
Testicles. Yes.
Yeah, but it's rude to say bollocks.
Yeah, it's a little bit vulgar, a little bit rude. Yeah. It also has another meaning not true or rubbish. Yeah.
But it's vulgar.
Yes, it's
Don't say it.
Depends in the situation. Don't say it when you've got the vicar around for tea or things like that. Okay, this is another very interesting cultural reference which I don't think they have in other countries, which is train spotter.
Culture. We've just given the train spotter element of our society another set of trains to spot.
Yeah, I think it is the most crazy way of spending time train spotting. So I think that mainly, maybe I'm mistaken, it consists mainly that you are going to the train station and you got timetables of trains, and you are checking if train arrive or leave.
No, it's basically collecting. So you go to train stations, you see the trains, and then you write down the number of the train. Each train has a number on the side, and you write down the number, and you've got to...
Oh, I thought it was connected with checking if they were on time.
No.
Okay. Anyway, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's very boring.
Yeah.
It's collecting, essentially. It's a bit like bird spotting and things like that, but for trains.
Yeah.
Okay, to mock. What does mock mean?
While the rest of us continue to mock them for their earnestness with all the vigour and enthusiasm we use to mock philately or campanology or any other ately or ology.
Is to make jokes about someone, to have fun at someone, but
at someone's expense, yeah.
Yeah, but it's rude to do it. It's not like we can have fun laughing. No, it's like when I say, he's stupid, blah, blah,
blah. Okay, the next word is philately. Philately, what's philately? This is a very posh Latin word which means maybe a lot of you will know this already because it's a Latin word.
It's to collection stamps.
To collect stamps.
Collect stamps, yeah.
Yeah. And related to philately, we have campanology. What's campanology?
It's those bells in church.
Yeah, it's ringing of bells in church.
I don't know why is it connected to philately.
Well, they're two hobbies that he gives.
Ah, okay.
These are two very strange words that perhaps everyone wouldn't know, because philately would be called stamp collecting normally, and campanology would normally be called bell ringing. So these are the posher words.
I think that philately also involves like coins and things. And medals and things, not only stamps, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I think coins has a different name. I don't think it's philately. I think it has a different name.
Sorry about it.
Maybe we'll put a link up. We'll write the name of it. We'll find out. Okay, epitome.
Winston Blumenthal, while I have no doubt he's a great chef, is the epitome of this ridiculous heightening of food into train-spottery nonsense.
It's always a strange word. It's spelled epitome. When you read it, it looks like epitome, but it's pronounced epitome.
Yeah, it's like the particular example of something that is very outstanding, and
yeah, it's the example that is the biggest example of that, or the most sort of maybe even stereotypical example of that.
Yeah.
Okay, whist. What is whist?
The traditional British idea of a food inventor is someone like the Earl of Sandwich, taking a quick, thoughtless bite to eat whilst concentrating on something that really matters, like whist.
It's name of a card play?
Not play game. A card game.
Card game?
Yeah. It's a card game. I don't think I've ever played whist in my life.
Yeah,
I think you have to play it with 4 people. I'm not too sure, but it's an old-fashioned game, whist.
We have a lot of words today that are to leisure.
Leisure activities, hobbies, Okay, engrossed.
You can imagine him forgetting to eat, so engrossed is he in his new invention.
What does engrossed mean?
It's to be connected to something and to be
Not connected.
linked to something.
No, neither of those things. To be engrossed is to be concentrating totally on something and be a little bit obsessed, focused on something. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, for example, watching these videos, you're going to be totally engrossed.
In Peter.
I don't think any of our listeners are engrossed. Okay, verge. What about verge?
I can't. I'm on the verge of creating the perfect sandwich.
It's a close point, or...
Yeah, if you say... You goes with the expression on the verge of something. On the verge is when you're about to do something.
The barrier, on the frontier.
Yeah, but on the verge of something usually means in time. You're about to do something. You're trying to do something, and then I'm on the verge of finishing this off. 5 more minutes and I will finish.
Yeah.
Okay, what about fad? This is a bit of a strange word. Fad.
So no, we haven't embraced continental good sense about food. We've merely added cuisine to the list of fads British men get disproportionately obsessed by.
I don't know. Does this word exist in English? But it's a tendency.
It's
Tendency.
It's a tendency or a fashion. It's something that comes along very quickly and disappears very quickly as well, and only really happens for a short amount of time. I would say the big fad at the moment is for selfies. Right. Everyone taking selfies. So that's the latest fad. It's usually something a little bit silly, a little fad. Okay, sea change.
It's no more a sea change than if we all vaguely knew about train numbers.
Sea change.
It's a radical change.
Yeah, it's where everything changes the sort of 180 degrees. Everything was one way and then everything changes to another way. Okay, cope. What does cope mean?
But for the rest of us, our capacity for coping in icy conditions remains woeful.
Cope is to be able to do something or to be able to handle something.
Exactly, yep. So it could be to cope with something is to control something, or if you're in a difficult situation, you cope, you manage the situation. So it could be either of those, okay. Woeful, what does woeful mean? Am I woeful?
Yes. It's evil or bad.
It's not evil, very bad.
Very bad, okay.
Something like a performance or something like that.
Yeah.
Woe is sadness, isn't it? So woeful it's so bad, it's terrible. Okay, another, yes, thank you for that. Okay, you're pointing me for the next word as well. Bastard.
We have Scott, Shackleton, and no other bastard.
What does bastard mean? Should we talk about the technical term and also what it really means?
I think the technical term is for a kid that is born from a couple that are not married.
Yeah, we say born out of wedlock. It's an expression you can use. Yeah, so your parents are not married when you're born.
Yeah, but it's in street language, or it's colloquial language. It's used to call bad people. I mean,
someone you don't like,
yeah,
or someone who behaves badly is a bastard. Yeah? And also, David Mitchell actually uses it to mean person as well. Okay, and the last two things, I'm going to put these together as well. These are a couple more cultural references. Pot noodle and pepperami. What are pot noodle and pepperami?
Pepperoni. It's a sausage, Italian sausage.
That's pepperoni. This is pepperami.
Oh, really?
It's slightly different.
I don't know.
It's like a pepperami, but it's like a cheaper alternative. It's thinner. It's a brand name.
Okay.
Yeah? So it's cheap meat and very thin. Like a pepperami normally is very thick and meaty and nice, but this pepperami is little and it comes in a little foil pack. It's a bit of an animal was the way they sold it. And pot noodle, you know what pot noodle is?
Yeah.
It's another example of terrible food.
Yeah, it's like cheap Chinese food, like in this carton box. These people, they eat it in TV shows always.
Yeah, so it's a little container and you pour water and then you stir it around and it's done in 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's very typical for students.
Yeah,
For
very
students.
cheap food.
Yeah, unhealthy.
Okay then, so that's it for today. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also you can give us a thumbs up down below as well, below the video. And that's it for today. Okay then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.